Can a relationship work if one of you wants to be sober and clean and the other one doesn't? It can, and it has worked for me in the past. Obviously, if the other person has wanted to drink, that's fine. And even if they wanted to recreationally use initially, like, I wouldn't have minded. But going forward, I think I need to be with somebody that I can handle them if they handle it if somebody drinks. Like, that doesn't bother me. But I want somebody that doesn't touch any Class A's. I don't want to be with somebody that touches Class A's at all. For me, it's too much of a trigger, and I don't want that lifestyle either. You know, I don't want to be around someone that has that sort of lifestyle. It causes problems because obviously if you've based your relationship on drinking together and session together, and then one of you no longer wants to do that, it leaves you with very little in common. And if one of you wants to change your life and better yourself, and you know, you want to grow as a person, and the other one doesn't, they want to stay where they are and they want to stay doing what they're doing, then it will not work. You have to be a team, guys. You know, everybody knows that when you're in a relationship, you've got to be on the same page, and you've got to be a team, and you've got to support each other. And if you can't support each other, then it's not going to work. And unfortunately, for some, in my case, this has been the way it's had to be, you know. But I feel like being sober and clean and not being around anybody that's drinking is also really important, and is actually really helping me to stay focused. And you know, it's what I need to do to stay well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a normal person. I'm not a normal drinker. I don't, you know, and I think that's what I need to realize, is that it triggers me so much more differently than it would trigger somebody else. And it's just, I just want a life this without it, you know. It's really hard. I mean, I don't know if, you know, my relationship and other people's relationships can work when one person is sober and the other one is drinking, as long as it's drinking in moderation, and as long as it's a different type of drinking. If it's going out on the sesh, or, you know, staying up late out with the boys or whatever, like, that can't happen. Like, for you know, for you to stay sober, that's going to trigger you like shit, and it just won't work. But if they're obviously just going out and having the odd drink now and again, and it's not like a massive blowout, and they're not having weekends away and whatever, then that could work. Do you know what I mean? It all depends on the person, but you've got to support each other. And even if your partner wants to give up and you don't particularly have a problem with drink, I'm not saying you should have to give up, because you shouldn't. But I mean, at least support them in the early stages. Like, you know, just like give them your support, because they really want it. And obviously they're trying to make themselves a better version of themselves. They're trying to be a better parent maybe, or they're trying to be a better person. And, you know, if you're not by their side and you're not supporting them through the worst, you know, through the bad times, then what's the point? You know, you can't just be with somebody when it's all good and it's all rosy. You need to support them. And I think that's really important. And if you can't support somebody that you're with, then don't try and sort of drag them down with you, you know. So just let them get on with it. And like, I need to just stay sober, and that's my main drive now, is like staying sober, staying clean, and looking after the kids, and making sure that my life, it revolves around them, you know. But yeah, you've got to put yourself first, guys. You've got to prioritize yourself. You've got to prioritize your recovery. You've got to prioritize your needs and how you feel. And you've got to make sure that, yeah, you don't go back to the old lifestyle that you were living, because that's not who you want to be. That's who you used to be, and not who you want to be now. Peace and love.